Today, we're going to try and see the future, but we're not using a crystal ball or tarot cards. Nope, we're using something way more powerful: data. We're going to look at what thousands and thousands of people are literally betting will happen in the year ahead. So, let's see what tomorrow looks like. I mean, that's the big question, right? What if you knew what was coming next in tech, in politics, in the economy? Well, it turns out there's a way to get a pretty incredible snapshot of what thousands of people are betting is just around the corner. And that's where these things called prediction markets come in. You can think of them as platforms where people put their money where their mouth is, betting real cash on future events. What we get out of it is this amazing data-driven map of what the crowd actually believes is coming next. So how does this all work? It's actually pretty simple. People buy yes or no shares on whether something's going to happen. So if a yes share for an event costs, say, 80 cents, that means the market is basically giving that event an 80% chance of happening. It's the wisdom of the crowd turned into a hard number. Okay, first up, let's look at what the markets are treating as near certainties. These are the high conviction bets, the things where pretty much everyone is on the same page. And here's a perfect example of that. The market is giving it a 97% probability that Google will release its next-gen AI, Gemini 3.0, this year. I mean, that is a massive signal about the relentless, almost unstoppable momentum happening in the world of AI right now. And that kind of certainty isn't just in AI. There's a 96% chance, according to the market, that Elon Musk stays the world's wealthiest person. But what's really interesting is another 96% prediction that gold is going to outperform Bitcoin this year. Now, this sets up a super fascinating contradiction that we're going to dig into in just a bit. So, sticking with technology, the market's conviction, it goes way beyond just what's happening this year. It looks like a clear winner has already been picked in the AI race for 2025. Wow, okay, the dominance you see here is it's staggering. When the market is asked which AI will be the best by the end of 2025, it gives an overwhelming 85% probability to Google's Gemini. And its biggest competitor, OpenAI's ChatGPT, it's way back in a distant second at just 9%. And listen, this isn't just a few people guessing. Look at the money behind this. We're talking about nearly $8 million wagered on this single question. That is a huge amount of capital backing up the idea that Gemini has a serious lead. If you find this kind of data-driven insight valuable, definitely drop a like to let us know. This confidence in tech innovation, it doesn't stop with AI. The markets are also pricing in a 91% chance that SpaceX is going to complete more than 180 successful launches this year. That signals just incredible confidence in how fast the aerospace sector is moving. But not everything is so clear-cut. So let's switch gears from the certainties in tech to the real battlegrounds in economics and politics, because this is where the market is just completely divided. This is a perfect example of that division. What's the Federal Reserve going to do at its December meeting? Well, the market is split right down the middle. A 51% chance they hold rates steady and a 48% chance they cut. It is literally a coin toss, and that just reflects some deep, deep economic uncertainty. And the stakes here could not be higher. Over $11.6 million in total value is wagered on the number of Fed rate cuts in 2025. That shows you just how intensely this economic question is being debated with real money. We are always tracking major market moving data just like this, so be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel for our latest deep dives. And that uncertainty, it definitely extends to the political world. Looking way, way ahead to 2028, the market currently sees J.D. Vance as the most likely Republican nominee at 52%. Now, while that's a majority, it is far from a sure thing, which leaves tons of room for a wide open race. All right, now we turn to the financial markets themselves. And here, the picture gets even murkier. We're seeing some seemingly contradictory signals that create a real fog of war for investors. So check out the S&P 500. The market is overwhelmingly optimistic. It's giving a 97% chance the year will end positive. But if you ask how positive, the consensus just shatters. As you can see here, the predictions are scattered all over the place, with no single outcome getting a lot of belief. Now, let's jump over to crypto for a really fascinating signal. The market sees a 95% probability that a new country will buy Bitcoin this year. This points to a really strong belief in the continued global adoption of crypto. We post surprising data points like this all the time, so you should follow us on Twitter for more updates. But hold on. At the exact same time, the market is giving a 96% probability that gold will outperform Bitcoin in 2025. This creates a really interesting tension in the data. So, what's going on here? How can the market be so confident in Bitcoin's adoption, but at the same time bet that gold is going to beat its performance? Well, it suggests a pretty nuanced view. Maybe the idea is that adoption doesn't immediately equal a higher price, especially when investors are looking for the stability of gold in uncertain times. If you're enjoying this kind of breakdown, drop a like and share. Okay, for our final section, we are diving into the deep end. We're talking about the long shots. These are the low probability events, the black swans that would have a massive, massive impact if they actually happened. Here is a classic long shot. The odds of the US government confirming alien existence are, of course, incredibly low. But what's so fascinating isn't just the probability, it's why people are willing to bet significant money on these really extreme, out there outcomes. This table shows exactly what I mean. A 4% chance of alien confirmation has pulled in $2.2 million. But look at that last one. A tiny 3% chance that Trump is out as president this year has drawn nearly $8 million in bets. This is not just people having fun. People are spending serious capital to hedge against huge, market-shaking disruptions, even if they're super unlikely. So let's bring it all together. What has all this data told us? Well, first, there's a really strong consensus on technological progress, especially in AI. Second, there's a deep, deep division on major economic and political questions. And third, the market is actively spending real money to protect itself against the unthinkable. And hey, if you want more summaries like this, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So we'll leave you with this question. Now that you've seen where the market's conviction is, where it's divided, and where it's betting on the impossible, how does that change your view of what tomorrow might bring?